Hello and welcome to another episode of the Citizens of Lorcana podcast, a podcast where we invite you to be part of their world. Today we are joined by a very special guest to break down all the exciting news that dropped on Wednesday, Rebecca of the Luminary. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Hey everyone, welcome to another week. I'm your host, Jared Hymas, and today I'm joined in the studio by co-host extraordinaire James Riley. Last week, we had a chance to visit with Jack Patillo, where we talked about set 3, his journey into casting, and advice he gave for other people that want to get into casting. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, make sure to go back and check it out. Today, we are joined by a very special guest again. This is somebody that I followed on Instagram. I heard whispers about her on Twitter, and everybody's like, you need to go check her out. She's putting this amazing content out. She's on Instagram, and I can vouch. If there's one account that you follow on Instagram, it should be Rebecca's, and then it should be Citizens of Lorcana. So without further ado, Rebecca, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on. I love your account as well. And I'm so glad you made your way to Instagram because your memes are the best and everyone deserves to see them. So glad to see you on Instagram. So I am a mom. I have 2 kids and I love Disney. And way back in the day, I had played Magic a little bit casually. So I had a little teeny tiny bit of experience with card games. And so when Lorcana came onto the scene, I was like so jazzed about it. And I was so excited that I was like, I have to make like an Instagram to like share all this excitement that I have. And especially because I wanted to share things for like, especially for new players and families and people this was their first TCG ever, and kind of give a little bit of an avenue for people who maybe didn't know what was up to be introduced to the game, and creating a lot of, fun, relatable content. And so I've been, doing this since September is when I started my account last year, and I've been having a blast doing it. So, and I'm glad that you all enjoy what I do. It's a lot of fun.
Well, here's the thing. You're kind of underselling yourself here. Because the content you make is so much fun. I mean, we asked for listener questions. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but you have these videos where you're pretending to be different ink colors, and your reels. I mean, I wish that I could like take your knowledge and put it into my brain so I could be half as good as you. I mean, like I said, go follow Rebecca's account. It's just the Illuminary, right? It's
Lorcana.illuminary on Instagram.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and we'll make sure to give it a shout out at the end. But for real, excited to have you on.
Thank you.
Bridging the gap between the TCG world and the Disney world and the have fun world, right?
Yes.
It's a game, right? You're supposed to be having fun, right?
Have fun. And you know what's interesting is I think that as far as content goes, there's a lot of Disney people and Disney fans on Instagram. Like there's tons of Disney content there. That's where they are. And on Twitter, it seems like it's more the TCG people are hanging out there. And so that is my audience, is the Disney fans. Not that the TCG people aren't. It's a crossing of worlds. So
no, that makes a lot of sense. You're probably familiar with Cameron, the Lorcana curator. That's what
absolutely.
And he's all about that Disney life. He's always, he wants to appeal to that Disney park going audience as well. But anyway, James, we have some big news. Why don't you kick it off?
We do? Did something happen today?
There was a thing. Maybe I heard about.
Okay. We had the first ever Lorecast, which was the official Team Lorcana broadcast on Twitch of information, and it was a lot of information.
Here's the thing: how are they going to top this one? How's the Lorecast number 2?
Well,
top this.
How can they top it? Let's see.
Bloodborne Flounder.
They can't. No, next time they have to reveal all the prize cards for the upcoming championships, right? They have to do like everything instead of not showing us like 1 or 2 of the special cards. Such a tease to show us some of this stuff and then not show us the rest of it. But okay, so So much was covered today. So the highlights, not the highlights, the outline of the event today was first the reveal of set 4, the reveal of what we're getting product wise, and a reveal of around 15 cards. Then we had the challenge information, which is the organized play events, the official events. We had information on what we're going to be winning if we are going and or doing well enough. We had information on where the first few will be and a new format that they're introducing into the TCG world that is completely different than what other people use. We have an all new product coming instead of a gift set. We'll get into that. And I think the last thing that we had was just a little bit of information about the gateway product. And man, that's enough. I mean, that took them 2 hours to get through.
Yeah.
To get through all of that, because it's so much. We're going to do it in a lot less than 2 hours.
Yes.
If we can, maybe.
Hold on, before we jump into breaking this all down. So, Rebecca, you joined forces with the Live Laugh Lorcana team, and you guys actually streamed this on Instagram. So just a high level, before we dig into the details and all that stuff, what was that experience like?
So first of all, like when we heard that this was happening, I talked with Katie and Becky and we were like, let's stream it together and go on Instagram Live and we can have people join and, interact in the comments and all watch it together and like make it a like community event, and I'm so glad we did. It was so much fun. I loved having Katie and Becky, and then also Victoria, her name is Lorcana Girl on Instagram. She joined us a little bit as well. And just seeing each other's faces to the reaction, like our reactions in real time to these announcements that were being made was so much fun. And to hear the comments, see the comments live from people. And so it was great to experience that with other people in the Lorcana community.
So how many people tuned in? Just curious.
I'm not sure. It was, I think maybe at our highest, there was like 40 or 50 people that came on live. So yeah.
Nice. Now, I don't mean to brag here, and James, I'm sorry for stealing your thunder. We're going to get to the breakdown here, but I don't mean to brag. I had to work today, so I missed out on all the fun, all the excitement, and so I'm really counting on James and Rebecca to carry this conversation here today.
Jared, I think we need to get you a dictionary because I think you used brag wrong. Possibly.
It was used ironically.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's get into set 4, which they played a trailer. Go find that trailer. It's awesome.
I haven't watched it yet. I didn't know.
Oh, you haven't watched the trailer? Oh, man.
That's on the to-do list for as soon as we're done here. Okay.
Yes.
Goodness. Anyway, so we're getting set 4. It's called Ursula's Return. And it's coming out May 17th at local game stores and May 31st at Big Box and on Shop Disney. And we're getting all the usual stuff. We're getting booster boxes. We're getting 2 starter decks, 2 play mats, 2 sets of sleeves and deck boxes. We're getting a trove. And we're getting the brand new, not a gift set, but instead a co-op game that you can play with Lorcana that comes with 2 pre-built decks called the Illumineer's Quest Deep Trouble. And the fact that they named that second name Deep Trouble leads me to believe that we're going to get more Illumineer's Quest versions going forward, just like we got multiple gift sets, right?
I 100% agree. Yeah, we're going to have Illumineer's Quest Deep Trouble. We're going to have Illumineer's Quest there's going to be more coming for sure.
So the starter decks are going to be Amber. Is it Amber Amethyst? Right?
Amber Amethyst and
which
Steel
is Encanto themed.
It's Mirabelle and Bruno are the main foils in that.
Hold on, I just have to time out here. You guys, we just talked about this new product, the Illumineer's Quest, that has a co-op and a solo version. We need to talk about this.
I wanted to get like the tier A stuff out of the way so we could get to the tier S stuff next. Just, slide all the good stuff and then get to the great stuff, right? That's what we're going to do.
Not great.
We're just going to have different levels of really awesome here, okay?
Start with awesome, and then go to the more awesome things.
Yeah, the starter decks are not on the same level as the Illuminers Quest.
All right, James.
Just get them out of the way.
Let's
starter decks. The other starter deck is Sapphire Steel. It's going to have a Hercules and what looks to be maybe a Floodborn Anna because she's in armor with a sword. So amazing. We've got now what they announced at the beginning. They had a little pre-recorded video with Ryan where he went over a bunch of this, like in a short form outline kind of thing, and showed a bunch of stuff. And he made the announcement that accessories from this set going forward will no longer necessarily use artwork from that set. They may go back and grab some fan favorites that never got an accessory. So in this case, we're getting Big Tink as a playmat from set 1, which is amazing. And then we're also getting the Rapunzel card, the Gifted Artist card from set 2 as a playmat. And we're getting as sleeves the Snow White the Snow White Legendary as sleeves in deck box. And then the Genie, the Amethyst card. I can't remember the name of it exactly. But it's one where you get the 3 wishes. Basically, it's like the 3 wishes, whatever. But that one also has deck box and sleeves. And then, of course, they're getting the booster boxes. And the Trove is going to have the usual stuff from the Inklands, which means there's a lore counter and dice. And instead, the dividers, instead of being rarity symbols, instead of ink symbols, they have all the rarity symbols this time. So you're actually going to get a divider for each rarity symbol, including Enchanted, which I think is awesome, even though you have in your dividers, you're never going to be sorting your Enchanteds in a box, right?
Wait, but what do you think of that? I would rather have the ink dividers. I think it's an interesting move for them to have rarity dividers.
I love the symbols, and I am very happy I'm going to be getting legendary and enchanted symbols on little pieces of stuff.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
But it's not like, if I buy 5 troves, I'm not going to be really happy I have 5 dividers for all the inks because they're not inks, they're rarity. I'm I never sort by rarity. So it's just going to be really cool things to have for putting in things. It's not going to be a sorting thing. Other than that, let's get into this Illuminers Quest. What is up with this Illuminers Quest? What is it? Right? Jared, what is it? Do you know?
Okay, so again, I didn't get a chance to really digest everything that went down, but this looks like one of the gift set boxes. But the cool thing about this is that it says right there on the box that this is a game for 1 to 2 players. You can play it solo. You can play it co-op. It's I don't know how it works, but I'm super excited for it. Maybe it works like Villainous. I don't know. But the fact that you can actually team up with a friend, this is just a different way to play Lorcana. And I know there's a lot of people who are intimidated to go to their local game store or, to sweat it out with all their friends. This is going to give them a chance to play at home, maybe play with their kids or their spouse or significant other. I'm very, very excited for this product. I don't have to play against myself, anymore. I'm going to have an objective. And again, I don't know how this works, but super excited.
Yeah. I love that you can play with just one person too. It's not just a co-op game, that you can play it as a solo player. I think it's great.
So if you've ever seen or played games like Marvel Legendary or the Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, those are co-op deck building games where you start with a deck of 12 cards, and then there's this stack of cards you can get throughout the game as you play. And you have this objective where the game itself has a deck or something else where you are fighting against that as the game goes on. And so I think this is going to be similar to that, because included in here are 2 pre-constructed decks for the 2 players. If you have 2 players, there's an Ursula deck. So the villain deck is its own deck, which is going to be what you're battling against. And the game will run where you basically once per turn, you turn over a villain card and it does something to you, or it's a character that's going to attack you, or you have to attack it and get rid of it before something happens. A bunch of the cards in here are all Lorcana cards you can get in regular sets. And the great thing about this is actually it's not limited to just 2 players. You can actually have up to 4 players. You just need more decks. So if you already have other Lorcana cards and more decks, you can just play a 4-player game against Ursula with 4 players and whatever decks you want to bring to it. You don't even have to use their decks. If you've got 4 other decks, bring those 4. And the goal, of course, is to beat Ursula. And it comes with a little pack, a gold pack, a winner's pack. So the first time you play it, when you win the game, you are instructed to finally open that pack and find whatever prize is inside that you get for winning the game. And during the stream, they're like, we're not going to show it to you. We're not going to tell you what it is because we want part of the journey of this game for everyone to play it and then find out what that prize is.
There's my Floodborn Flounder. I'm calling it right now. If we're being honest, the thing that's really sad is we know that it's going to get spoiled by some LGS that gets it a week before street date. Like, that's the thing that's sad.
Yeah, and it will, but I mean, we can just try not to pay attention to that.
Okay.
It'll be difficult.
Yeah.
We can just, for anyone who does do that, shame them.
Shame.
Shame.
Rebecca, what do you think about this product?
I love everything about it. I think it's going to be great for people who are intimidated with the competitive side of Lorcana. And like, even my husband, he has only played 1 game with me ever. And I'm like, he might actually play this with me, because it's a co-op game. And my daughter, who she's 11 and hasn't been into it. And so I'm just like, I could see people who up to this point have not really been interested in this game becoming interested because of the co-op nature. I think that there's a huge market out there of cooperative games. And so the fact that Lorcana has kind of opened up this new avenue into playing the game, I think is really fabulous. The other thing that I like with the cards in here is some of the cards have this like tentacle like art around it. And those cards are only available in this Illumineers Quest set. Even though the cards are going to be part of the regular set, they won't have that same art. Did you know that?
You get
tentacles. They're like special cards.
Special cards.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool because then it's like something unique to the set too, which is fun. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play when it comes out. It's going to be definitely highly sought after. I hope they're printing this one into the ground.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I think this is going to end up on the shelf next to Villainous, honestly. I think it may end up as a game because of this being marketed as an actual game, not as a trading card game.
Yes. And the other cool thing too is the difficulty levels that it has, right. So it's not just, you play it once and you're done, also you're playing with 60 card decks. And as we know, every game is different. But there's multiple levels of difficulty. So you can start on the easy mode or whatever. On the stream, they're like, easy mode is not easy.
Yeah. I can't wait to get this in and just, have fun finding what decks, because if you watch the stream, they said that this was made from the beginning. This was designed as part of the initial design of Lorcana to have a version that was co-op, which means there's cards from set 1 and on that were designed for this game. And you're looking at them, you're like, what's a big deal about support?
Gantu
redemption arc? Is that what you're
Gantu might work.
All right. Gantu stocks are going up, set 4.
Here we go. Yeah, and they were talking on the stream too about that you're gonna want to build a deck, craft a deck specifically for cooperative play. So that'll be fun too, to be a little bit of creative, and like my mom plays and she loves all the support cards, but I don't know, in competitive play, a lot of those don't do so well sometimes, but she texted me because she was watching the stream. She's like, they talked about support cards for the co-op game. I'm so excited.
I love it.
And with there's all that, the different levels of difficulty, and you're right. Like my wife, I told her about it, and she's like, well, she doesn't like to play the competitive either, and and we love to play Legendary and the Harry Potter game, the cooperative games where we can sit down for hours, just building our, going through all the different characters and everything, and just building different decks. So this is going to be a really awesome way to just go through all. She can build, the princess deck she wants to build, and it'll actually most likely work where it wouldn't work in a competitive arena. So that's going to be one thing that's going to be awesome about this.
Yeah.
But the genius thing is, I think that this, I'm stealing the phrase here, I think this could be a gateway product into the greater Lorcana TCG world. Because it is going to get a lot of these people who aren't interested in playing the TCG. They're going to get their hands on the card. They're going to be like, wow, this is actually pretty fun. And yeah, I think it's a sneaky way to get people into the TCG game.
It is sneaky. And I think it also is great because for people who are new to TCGs and the competitive side is a little intimidating, this is a great way to learn the game, which I know Liam mentioned that on the stream today, but this is going to be a really great way for people to learn how to play Lorcana.
Yeah, it's going to be learning the game without having to deal with the combative nature of a regular game.
Exactly.
So you don't have to worry about that part of it. You can play it together, and then you're teaching someone and bringing them along with you instead of sitting across the table from them and battling them and saying like, well, I'm about ready to make you lose, but this is why and how you play.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but speaking of the gateway product, they actually did have one during the stream, and they showed the back of it. And it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's going to come with a bunch of cards we already have seen from all the different sets. But what's really cool, it's going to have these little where you can put the little character standees up, and it has the art from the cards. It's got a little playing board, and it's got, you know, a zones thing where you put everything out. And it's just going to be a really cool entry level thing, again, to help teach the game to someone who doesn't know. And you build the deck as you go. So I think it's really cool that we're going to be able to see, you know, as we're going forward with, you know, by the end of the first year of Lorcana, there will be at least 2 new ways to teach people the game.
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome.
It's exciting.
Okay. The next big thing we got is competitive play, which I think was one of the things that we all were hoping to hear during the stream. Yeah. And I mean, the fact that they gave us both the set release and competitive play was pretty awesome. So right off the bat, let's start in with, they announced 2 competitive events. The Disney Lorcana Challenge events. The first one in North America is May 25th and 26th in Atlanta. And then in June 8th and 9th in Chicago. And Jared, I don't know if you noticed that, but that is the same weekend as SCG Con in Vegas.
Oh, well, you know what? I don't think I was going to make it out to Chicago anyway. But
I know you weren't going to make it to Chicago, but that may pull
attendance.
But will it make SCG Con in Vegas a little bit more enticing for some people because a lot of the competitive people will now be in Chicago?
Okay, sign me up. You sold me.
Right? So which one do you go to? Anyway, those are the 2 North Americas announced, and there are 4 more to be announced. So there will be 6 North America events. And
they did say on the stream that they're all confirmed. And they almost, they tried to slide them in at the last minute, but decided not to. So we should be getting the 4 more dates.
How hard is it to update that slide?
I know.
I think it's I think it's more along the lines of maybe the lawyer hasn't like dotted the last I and crossed the last T on the contracts or something like that.
All right, we'll find out soon enough.
And then in Europe, same date for the first one, May 25th, 26th, is in Lille, France. Lille, whatever that word is. Lille. And then July 6th, 7th in Bochum, Germany. And then there are 2 more events in Europe to be announced. So there is 6 events in North America and 4 events in Europe. The events all cap at 512 people, but they did, Rochelle was very clearly stating that that is just the initial cap, and that if demand is high enough, they will be increasing the cap. Now, whether that's on these events and they'll release more tickets, or if that's going forward after this when they realize that, 2,000 to 3,000 people actually want to play in these things, not 500. And then future events will have more people. We're not sure. But they will be doing these events, and the first day is going to be the Swiss style, elimination for everyone, all 512 people to play, and then the second
different
day
format,
Swiss format, in a new format, which we will get into in just a second. And the second day is for the top 32, and that one will be a regular elimination style, best of 3 per round tournament kind of thing. But now let's talk about the new format that they introduced that everyone is just, I mean, have you heard anyone who is like right down the middle of, I guess it's okay. I mean, there's people who are like, it's like a love-hate thing. I mean,
love or hate it.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who are like, well, I mean, there's very few people who are going like, let's wait and see. Everyone's just like, I'm all in, see what this is about.
So I will say, because as I said, I was working during all this, but the thing I heard the most scuttlebutt about was this best of two format, and yeah, it's a head scratcher.
And the thing is, you can't call it a best of two.
Best of two, yeah.
Because it is not a best of two. You're not playing
two games. But what else are you calling it? Okay.
It's a 2-game round.
2-game format, I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
2-game format.
So what's happening is, in a normal best of, you have a best of 1 or a best of 3. You either win the game or you don't in a best of 1, and you move on, right? You get a win for the round. In a best of 3, it's 2 of 3. So if you win 2, you win the round, the other person takes a loss. What they're doing here is they're playing 2 games. The person who wins the dice roll gets to decide whether they go first in the first game or the second game. You don't get to go first in both games. You get 1 each. This is going to be helping to solve the going first is better
an advantage
kind of thing. So there is no third game where someone gets to go first twice and the other person only gets to go once. You both get to go first once, no matter what.
Does it though? Does it solve the issue? I mean, okay, the fact
yes,
that you get you get 3 points for going 2-0, but only 1 point for going 1-1. It just
but the
feels
points
off.
add up.
It just feels off.
It's basically they wanted to reward people for winning, for playing and winning. The reason they gave is, one, they wanted people to play the game, not the tournament. Because a lot of people, when they go to these tournaments, they kind of have this math as they approach the end of the day where they're like, I can intentionally draw and assure myself an entry in, and they just don't bother playing like a round or two, right? So they're playing the tournament, they're playing the points of the tournament. And here you have to play every game because every point matters that you can win to get into the top cut. The other thing is that if you play 2 rounds and you lose in a normal tournament, you're pretty much out of it most of the time, and so you just drop. What that does is anyone who played you those first 2 rounds, they're now going to place lower in the standings because their opponent's average, because you didn't finish, is now lower than someone who played a bunch of people who did finish. And so enticing people to play to earn points, even if they lose a few games at the start, because there may be prizes for a certain number of points you get, is going to entice everyone to continue playing and give everyone a fair shot based on their opponent's win average throughout the entire tournament. So there's a lot of little things that this is trying to solve, and hopefully it does that. There is this issue of the tiebreaker that people are pointing out, that the first tiebreaker is strength of schedule. So, if your opponents did well, then you do well if there's a tiebreaker. But the other one is how you did in the second game of all of your matches. So if you won more second games than your opponent, then you get to, beat the tiebreaker if you're both the same and everything else. What this is going to do is people will choose to go second in the first game and go first in the second game. And take that second game advantage. So that's the thing a lot of people are worried about. So there are flaws. I think there are some flaws in this, but we'll see again how it shakes out, because this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Rebecca, thoughts?
I mean, I am not a super competitive player. I'm more on the casual side, but as a more casual player, I will say that it does, and Rochelle in the stream used the word aspirational, that they wanted to make competitive play aspirational. And having this 2-game format makes me less intimidated to go to and participate in a competitive event, because I do feel like I would have more of a chance to earn points. And even if I don't make the top cut, that I would maybe earn enough points for one of those promo cards, and that this system with the points kind of gives a little bit more consistency, maybe a little, not leveling the playing field, but it just offers people who maybe are, in a best of 3, always taking a loss because they, only won 1 out of the 3 games. Well, now they still walk away with a point, instead of walking away with just a loss, So I like it. And I'm sure there will be flaws, or things to figure out. But based on what they were saying and what I've seen, the chatter online and everything, I think it's a positive net change.
Well, as somebody who likes to lose a lot, I think that this is a net positive to me. I mean, Disney Lorcana, Ravensburg has said that they're going after that casual crowd, and this definitely feels like a way to reach after that. And I think at the end of the day, I'm personally happy with it. We'll just see how it shakes out, with the real competitive crowd.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think it was on Brandon's stream, because they live streamed it as well. I listened to part of that, and I think someone there mentioned that way back at the beginning, like maybe at D23, Ryan did an interview where they're like, we're not going to do cash prizes because cash prizes bring in a certain kind of crowd, and that is not the crowd we want for Lorcana. So if that's the case, then you can expect that they're never going to offer cash prizes. For one, we're going to get promos and other kinds of prizes. But this kind of style of the 2-round thing where the winning is what matters. Keep winning and you keep getting points. If you lose, even if you win a few games, you still get points. Where if you lost, like Rebecca said, if you lost most of your rounds because you went 1 and 2 in 3 rounds, that's 0 points. But in this format, you now have 3 points. And, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you have much more that you've accomplished and you have something to show for it.
Yeah. And for it being a Disney game, I think kind of what you guys are alluding to is it goes along with that like Disney experience, like people want to feel good. There is an emotional aspect to playing the game. Like people want to have lots of fun. And so to appeal to a more wide audience, to have that feel good aspect kind of baked in while still allowing for the competitive nature of the game to thrive, I think is smart.
Because the competitive side, the competitive players, what do they want to do? They want to win.
They want to win. Right? Yeah.
If you win, you get points. If you win more than other people, you get more points.
You get more points.
And you're at the top. That's all it is. That's just exactly the same as any other tournament. The more you win, the higher to the top you are. And it's the same exact thing. And that's just to get through the first day. The second day is just a normal best of three standard elimination tournament. There's nothing different about that. This is just a new version of Swiss.
Yeah. And I love that they said that they're tying those points to a promo card. Like everyone will get also, we didn't talk about that. So one of the promo cards, the Dragonfire one, that anyone who goes to the event, no matter how many points you walk away with at the end of the day, that you will come away with that Dragonfire promo card, which I think is so great to hear that.
Yes.
And then tying points to another promo card, I think is also really great. So that way, even if you don't make that top cut, that you can still work towards that.
Right. So what they said is that, the second day will be the top 32, but they have, after the participant card, which is the Dragonfire, and these are, you have to go online to see them if you haven't seen them yet. Go find them because they are amazing.
They're gorgeous. They are
so good. So the Dragonfire is, they actually went back to Luis Huerta and asked him to do a little bit more touch up to the art so they could do a full art all the way to the edges, all around the card art. They did the same thing for Let It Go, which is the top 64, they're calling it card. But it's the card where, as you mentioned, if you get a certain number of points on the first day, you're going to get the Let It Go card. Yeah. They said it may not always be the top 64. Sometimes it may be more. So I think it's going to be point based. Like if you reach a certain point threshold, you're going to get Let It Go. And then after that, for the people who make it to the second day, the top 32, everyone who makes it to the second day is going to get a brand new art on a Cinderella Stout-Hearted card. And Rochelle pointed out that when everyone was saying, why didn't this card get an enchanted like Cinderella or Rapunzel? And it's like, this is why, because they're using some different art on these cards and they're making them extra special. Again, beautiful cards. Cinderella Stout-Hearted is for the top 32. The top 16 will get all new Rapunzel gifted with healing on this art. And this might be my new favorite art in all of Lorcana. And then for top 8, you're going to get Rapunzel as a playmat that has foil accents on it. And then top 4, they didn't show it to us, but they told us what it was. It is a gold, like the entire gold themed, everything about it is gold, apparently, serialized Mickey Brave Little Tailor. Top 4 only.
That's going to be worth the money.
So much.
Rapunzel is going to be worth so much money. The gold serialized Mickey. And they said that there will be cards for the top finishers. So I think there's going to be a top 2 card, possibly, or a top 2 playmat, and most likely a top 1 card where there's only one of.
Yeah.
But they didn't tell us exactly what's happening with the other than the top 4, but they said that there are more prize cards coming. This is amazing. The artwork on these is incredible.
And the new promo cards also have like a different special foiling than they said, different from enchanted cards, different from anything else. And you can see it in the images, that there's like this rainbow, like swirly effect in the art, which is going to be the foil. So
That's
I'm
the foiling.
Really excited to see what those look like in person.
And it looks like there's a new rarity symbol underneath too.
Yes.
Did they talk about that at all?
That's the challenge series symbol. So that's what's going to be on like their events. It's like the event symbol, and therefore it's also going to be on the promos.
Yeah. And so they said any promo for the Lorcana Challenge events will have that. It's like a little world with the lore symbol in it. Yeah.
Well, and for those who don't, just to clarify, for those who don't know what serialized means in the TCG world, it means they're actually individually numbered. So like it'll say like 1 of 40. And it'll have a little stamp on there. They may stamp it with just 1 of 40. They may stamp it like with an actual number on it, like 1 of 40, 2 of 40, 3 of 40. And they may also stamp them with something like that says winner or top 4 or something like that. We don't know what they're going to do because they didn't show it to us. But that's what happens in other card games is they stamp them with something to make them unique.
And that serialized card, Rochelle was like, we need to give this card its own space. Like she made it sound like it's going to be incredible. She's like, we didn't want to give it away today because it needs its own space, its own time to shine.
There's so much revealed. I was just going to say, I feel like I love what I'm hearing from the organized play structure. I love that it's catering towards people like myself that may not have much of a chance. At least we have a chance to get that Dragonfire and that Elsa. Let it go. And maybe if all the planets are in proper alignment, maybe I'll get into that top 32 and get that Cinderella, because that's what I have my eye on. But I love everything about this. I couldn't be happier.
And I think what's cool with the point system that they were talking about with the new format is that if you go to one of these events and then how many points you earned, it kind of gives you like your baseline for this is how well I did. And now you can go to another event and know how much you've progressed, as a player. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So after all that, they also dropped little nuggets of news like the complete rules will be dropped within a week.
Say what? How long have we waited for this?
Yes.
I think she said this week. I think she said, they'll be coming this week. I assume one day we'll just wake up and it'll be on the resource page of the website.
Right, exactly.
To be fair, we got so much information today. Like if they release those today.
And just like little side comments, like one sentence, little side comments were full of information.
Yes.
She announced that they are going to be having a judge program. Initially, they're only going to be, I guess, hiring or getting people to do these first challenge events. But then there will be like a full-fledged judge program that they're going to do so that you can have judges at your local stores. But the first group is going to be for the challenge events. And so that will be announced soon as well. But the other, so, I mean, we got the usual. We got announcements of announcements coming, but we also got all this other information. So it softened the blow of not getting.
I'm happy. I'm happy with what we got.
Yeah.
One side comment that they made, and I was a little bummed we didn't hear more, but they talked about the competitive events, especially like nationals and worlds, having a concurrent like fan event running.
Right.
And but they said we don't have fan event information right now.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was going to bring up. I did not hear anything about the fan events.
Yeah,
right. So a little bit about the challenge events. They will be obviously the only people who can play in the actual tournament are those people who get the tickets to play. But they will be open to the public, so spectators can come. They will be events of some kind where you can have other things. They'll do other events like Villainous and whatever else they may do, side events like we expect to see at TCG events. They said that after all of the regionals, that like the national championship, that will be invite only, but that I think I can't remember if it was at the regionals or at the nationals. There will be a way to get an invite.
They said there would be a day 0 at nationals.
Okay, that was the one.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can actually go and try and get in to compete in nationals without having won a regional. But it's going to be very I don't know. They said it's going to be huge. They're going to have a certain number of a ton of people can come, but I'm sure there's a limit. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be like 5,000 people or something. It's probably going to be 1,000 or 2,000 people or something like that. But still, if you don't win one of these 6 events, if you don't finish in the tops, were they taking the top 8 from each event?
Did they say? I can't remember.
I heard people say the top 8, but I thought I heard top 16.
Okay.
For each event. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't remember if they did. I'm sure someone will post it if they said it. But it's definitely going to be only a certain amount of that top for the event is going to nationals from each regional event. And then from nationals, they're going to worlds, and worlds will be like invite only the people, but it will be at a fan event.
Yes.
So you will be able to go and have fun doing other things. You just won't, it won't be like nationals where there's a day 0 thing where you have a chance to get in. It's only the people invited from both the European and the North American nationals will be able to go to the World Championship and actually compete for the World Championship.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Oh, so much
stuff.
Well, I know we put these in the outline after, like in the ending segments, but I feel like since it was part of the whole panel today, I feel like we just talk about new cards right now.
Yeah, actually, they revealed like 15 new cards.
There was 17.
17?
There was 16 because there were 16 on the stream, and there was a hidden card on the website that they didn't.
The Ursula, right?
The Ursula. Yeah, so there were 17 new cards.
Crazy. All right. Rebecca, you pick your favorite one to talk about.
Okay.
Your favorite one.
Well, can we talk about Encanto?
Sure. There's how many Encantos were revealed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Encanto cards.
6 Encanto cards. I am just so happy to see Encanto in the game. That's one of my favorite movies in like recent years. And so I am overjoyed to see these characters finally in. And we can talk more about them individually, but as a whole, they all have a classification of madrigal on them. And there's some synergy with magical characters that you'll see on some of the cards, which is really cool. And I'm really looking forward to what other Encanto cards might be coming. But yeah, 6 Encanto cards.
Pick your favorite one if you can, and go ahead and read it off and tell us about it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's start with
favorites.
2 favorites. Let's start with Bruno. We will talk about Bruno today.
That's right.
All right. So Bruno is a 5-cost uninkable card. Bruno Madrigal, Out of the Shadows. He's a 4/5 quest for 1, and he has an ability. It was your vision. When you play this character, chosen character gains. When this character is banished in a challenge, you may return this card to your hand on this turn. And he's an Amethyst, which I think just fits perfectly with Amethyst, with that bounce back to your hand, like perfect synergy there with the rest of Amethyst. Not like Amethyst needs more good cards.
Right.
Thank goodness it's uninkable, I guess. Yeah.
It's basically giving the bounce package to any card you want in
any
your deck.
Card. Yep.
Which is crazy.
So, yeah. It's like, you want to challenge and take something out. You put Bruno down, gives them that ability, and it comes right back to your hand.
But guys, this dies to Dragonfire, so let's move on.
And attack on attack, and along came Zeus, right? It dies to Zeus as well.
That's true. That's true.
So
dies,
I mean,
dies to Maui.
we're gonna thumbs down the card because of that, right?
Basically.
All right, and then we'll talk about Julieta. That's my other. I like her a lot. So Julieta, who's Mirabelle's mom, she's an amber card, 3-cost inkable, 1/4, and she's like a mini Rapunzel. So she has an ability when you play this character, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character, and if you remove damage this way, you may draw a card.
Simple card that replaces itself.
Exactly. And the flavor text says, "Eat this, mi amor."
I love it.
Jared, you want to handle a couple of the madrigals?
All right. Yeah, let's do it. I'll go with Mirabelle. Mirabelle Madrigal.
Yes.
She is a 5-cost uninkable on amber as well. 3/5. Gift of the family is her subtitle. She has support. Your mom's favorite keyword. Rebecca's mom.
Yes.
The ability says saving the miracle. Whenever this character quest, your other madrigal character gets +1 lore this turn. But that's pretty crazy. I mean, this is like Lucky, but I mean, Lucky applies to all the other characters, but I could easily see there being a madrigal family deck. I mean, we already have 6 cards here. 6 times 4, 24. I mean, this could happen. Yeah. This is good.
And again, building theme decks in Lorcana is just becoming so much easier and better the more cards we get to fill in those decks to make it all one theme. So it's great.
Yeah, and I love that the starter deck too, we know, because it has Bruno and Mirabelle. So
right. So this is going to get the foil treatment.
The second card I'll choose is also an amber. Felix Madrigal, fun, loving family man. 3-cost inkable, 2 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore. So that's nice. And the flavor text says, "Who needs a gift when you're having this much fun?" So it's just a vanilla card, nothing crazy, but cool art, Madrigal typing. So I can almost guarantee. I can almost guarantee that we're getting a what's the name of the house? The House Madrigal?
No, the Casita.
Yeah, the Casita. I can almost guarantee we're gonna get that.
As a location, right?
As a location, absolutely. Yeah. If we don't,
who knows what it's going to be like?
We will write it.
All right. The other 2 madrigals that were revealed was Dolores Madrigal, easy listener, 4-cost inkable, 3/3 with 2 lore, and the ability Magical Informant. That says when you play this character, if an opponent has exerted character in play, draw a card. Because again, Amethyst just needs more draw. It just doesn't have enough.
Yep.
And then also an Amethyst, a 4-cost uninkable, Luisa Madrigal, magically strong one with 4 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore, and rush. And that's it. But you don't need much more, right?
Yeah.
So that's all the madrigals that we got. I'm sure there's probably going to be at least, like I said, the Casita and maybe at least 1 or 2 more family members. Or, I mean, we didn't get
Isabella, the other sister,
the kid.
Oh yeah,
the loves animal, talks to animals. I can't remember his name.
That one, now. I can't either. So we need the whole family.
We need the whole family. We got all the dwarves in one set, so we need to get the entire Madrigal family in one set, right?
Yes, good point. Yes.
Yeah. All right, so that was 6 cards, which means we have 11 more cards. And so let's get through some of these. We don't need to talk a lot about because they were vanillas, but I'm going to start us off with, unless this is your favorite. What is your other favorite one?
Oh, my other favorite one is Ariel Floodborn.
Then you can talk about it because that was the next one I was going to talk
about. Oh, okay. I love her. I mean, I'm just an Ariel fan. She's my favorite, and I've been waiting for a Floodborn Ariel since Cent 1. So I'm so glad. She's a steel 6-cost inkable Ariel Sonic Warrior, 3/8, and she quests for 2, and she's also a shift 4. And her ability is Amplified Voice. When you play a song, you may pay 2 ink to deal 3 damage to chosen character. And her art is amazing. The sonic waves coming out, and the Steel Song deck just got its new favorite card.
right? Everyone was like,
needed another tool.
After you play the Spectacular Singer, you're like, well, she's so easy to get banished off the board. You know, you hope she lasts a turn to sing a 5-cost song. Now, on the next turn, guess what? She becomes a 3/8 with 2 lore and this ability to just sing songs willy-nilly and just deal more damage across any. Oh, you get it. Just it's amazing. I love this card. Steel Song definitely is getting so strong.
It's feasting.
Really Beast.
Yeah, you play Strength of a Raging Fire, or what's the other one?
Storm Rage
On.
I mean, dang, man, that's crazy.
Now you're taking out right there. You're taking out 5 and 6 willpower characters easily now with this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Instead of having to play grab your swords twice or grab your swords and run into them or anything like that, you're like that 3 extra damage. Guess what? Banished.
Boom.
So good.
Yep. Gone.
So good.
I also love that it's 3 extra damage and not just 2. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that just does 2 damage.
Yeah.
3 does 3 is that does a lot of work. So she's great.
I am going to take the next one. This is one of my other favorite ones because Ariel was one of my favorite ones too. This is Mulan, Elite Archer. This is amazing. She's 6 costs inkable, 2/6 with 2 lore. She's a Floodborn, which means she can shift. She shifts at 5, so it's not much of a savings. She goes from 6 to 5, but she has 2 abilities. Straight shooter. When you play this character, if you use shift player, she gets +3 attack this turn. And then triple shot. During your turn, whenever this character deals damage to another character in a challenge, deal the same amount of damage to up to 2 other chosen characters.
Dang, that's
sick. Ruby, right? And there's all kinds of fun shenanigans you can do with damaging in Ruby. So I predict that this card is going to be played quite a bit. It is telegraphed, obviously, because once you have a Mulan in place, someone's like, oh, here comes big Mulan. I better not leave anything open for attack. But if something's there for attack, maybe you can force an exert if you're playing Ruby Amethyst, right? And then all of a sudden you go into something. What if you have a Prince Eric in play? What if they have an unexerted big body character that you can't get rid of easily? All of a sudden, that extra 2 damages 2 other chosen characters. 2 of that damage can go onto your Prince Eric and banish him, and now you can banish that character.
Man.
You can combo this with your own cards to get the benefit of your own cards being damaged. So,
it's pretty crazy.
You could use Morph to kind of hide the fact.
Oh, yeah, the Morph would hide.
That's cool.
But yeah, this is a good card.
And this is the example of the cards with the tentacles on it. That's what you're talking about, right? So are these going to be like the tentacle ones? Are those going to be like allowed in competitive, like organized?
I think so, because if you look at the pictures of the Illuminer's Quest, they have the card backs shown and they look exactly the same. And if you look at the bottom of these, it's this card, like in particular, Mulan is card number 224 of 204. So it's numbered after the Enchanted, so it's part of the set. And everything about it looks the same, except for those little bits of tentacle coming in on the borders. So I think that what these are just alternate versions of the same cards we're going to find in the sets.
So you're going to be able to get legendary characters in this Illumineer's Quest set.
The Quest box.
There's only going to be a few. There's maybe going to be like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Which is fine because, these days, with a few exceptions, most legendaries are selling in what range? Like the $6 to $15 range. And the gift set, I mean, not the gift set, but the game is priced at $60. So if you just price it for just the legendaries, you're basically going to be paying about $15 a legendary, which is about what you would expect.
Yeah.
So if you look at it that way, the game's free. You get 4 legendaries.
That's right math right there.
Lorcana math.
All right. So I want to choose the Mickey Mouse that came up just because I love this art. I want this card right now. It's Mickey Mouse from Fantasia. He's got the Sorcerer's hat on, has his arm raised up. He's a 5-cost inkable. He's on steel. Playful Sorcerer. He's a 3 strength, 4 willpower. He's shiftable. So Floodborn. Shifts for 3. Resist +1, which is always nice. And the ability Sweep Away. When you play this character, deal damage to chosen character equal to the number of broom characters you have in play. So Broom decks are getting a buff here. I mean, in the end, like it shifts for on turn 3, so I don't know how many brooms you're gonna have in play at that time, but it's just a cool looking card. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. I love it.
I mean, I don't know if you even need to shift this one in because you're going to be playing the Sorcerer Mickey on turn 4 to get all your brooms in cheaper. This is whenever you get around to it, right?
Yeah, that's the play.
This is you play this when you have some broom characters on the board and you want to take something out.
Get some late game damage to get rid of characters that are causing you problems.
Yeah.
Can I take the next one too, James?
You may.
Okay, because this is another one. This is Yin Sid, and I was showing this to my daughter when I got home from work. And I was like, "Look at this. What does this say backwards?" She's like, Sydney? It's like, no, try again. Oh, Disney. Yeah, I love Yin Sid's connection to Walt Disney. So he's a 2-cost, inkable, on amethyst, powerful sorcerer, 1 strength, 3 willpower. He has 2 abilities. Timely intervention. When you play this character, if you have a character named Magic Broom in play, you may draw a card. And Arcane Study. While you have 2 or more broom characters in play, this character gets +2 lore. He has 1 lore just as a base, so he can get up to 2 more. Plus, this is a legendary card. Pretty sweet.
And if you happen to be playing a broom deck, why wouldn't you be playing Sorcerer's Workshop? And you can move him there, and now he's going to get 4 lore per turn.
Yeah.
Dang.
So that's pretty awesome. As long as you have a broom in play, of course.
Right. It's going to
Very
be so
cool.
good.
All right.
And the art is great.
I think Rebecca, you should take the Ursula.
Okay. Wait, now I need to find the Ursula. All right. This one was hiding on the website on the product page. So
all the way down at the bottom.
Not on the stream, all the way scroll down to the bottom. And I was like, wait, what is that? And the art is amazing. And once you watch the story trailer, Jared, it's kind of the art that we see a little bit from there. She is a legendary amethyst, 7-cost inkable, Ursula Sea Witch Queen. And she's holding the trident, 4 strength, 7 willpower, and she shifts on 5, quests for 3, and has 2 abilities. One is Now I'm the Ruler. Whenever this character quests, exert chosen character, and you'll listen to me. Other characters can't exert to sing songs, and she doesn't have to do anything for that. That's just a static ability, which is nuts.
She's pretty awesome.
I mean, that really is. And the thing that it says is other characters can exert to sing songs. So that includes your characters too.
Right. Good point. Yep.
But if you're playing Amethyst and, it's late game, how many songs are you singing?
Yeah, not a lot.
Goodbye. Be prepared. Okay, I'm running Amethyst.
Amethyst did really need another good card, Amethyst.
It did. It really did.
It really did.
This is a legendary, so it's gonna be fun trying
and
to
it's
get
just and it's great too with the flavor of the character of Ursula and that other characters can't sing is just perfect.
And if you're playing that really fun Emerald Amethyst deck that is just a killer discard kind of thing,
yes,
you have a shift target with that 2-cost Ursula who doesn't do much after you play her. And all of a sudden you have a target for that. And she becomes so much better on turn 5.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Ugh. Yeah. It's going to be a
Boy,
good
I can't wait
one.
to see the amazing cards that Sapphire got.
Hey, let me talk about that right now.
About the Sapphire cards.
Sapphire got a new Rapunzel. A 5-cost inkable Rapunzel, appreciative artist, 3 strength, 5 willpower with 3 lore. And the ability Perceptive Partner. While you have a character named Pascal in play, this character gains ward. That's pretty cool. A three lore character that can gain ward just by having that evasive Pascal in play, which we may get more Pascals too.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think we're gonna get more. No, really cool. And the art again, awesome.
I love her.
So very cool. You know what? I'm going to take the next one. You guys can fight over the last 2, last 3, last 4. Yeah, you guys get the last 4. I'm getting the next one. Because it's goofy. It's a 4-cost inkable, super goof, 2 strength, 4 willpower, storyborn hero. He's got rush and the ability super peanut powers. Whenever this character challenges another character, gain 2 lore. Okay, he has rush and the ability to gain 2 lore immediately on coming into play. That's crazy.
Yeah. And he's inkable.
Yeah, and this is basically, you don't even need a bounce package to make him work like the goat. In order to get 2 lore with the goat, you got to play the goat and bounce him back on the same turn if you can do that. Goof just needs a target.
Yeah.
Plus, you have Shere Khan on the table. You get 3 lore right there.
3 lore immediately. I love this
Queen of
card.
Hearts. Queen of Hearts, you get to draw a card. Right?
That's true.
It's like a challenge goes in a challenge matters deck.
Yeah, all these different cards that can make him so much better, but just this card is a really good card.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else to make him better. The only thing you need is someone to challenge when you play him, right?
There's only 1 or 2 other cards that have rush that are inkable, right? So now
it's a very powerful ability that usually is not.
It's usually uninkable. So Fox, Madam and Fox, and then Maui. Those are the only 2 that are inkable with rush.
Which means just like Fox is the most annoying and one of the best cards. Obviously, that means this is as well, because they just, from what I understand, Steve Warner, I think he mentioned in an interview or a comment a few weeks ago, he said that the cards, sometimes they'll throw cards in that are technically a little too powerful just to mix things up and throw a little spice into the game. When they should be uninkable, they'll make them inkable or something like that. So I think this is one of those cards.
Yes.
All right, you guys can handle the next one. So which ones do you want, Rebecca? Hans, Daisy, Anna, or the Trident?
Oh, let's talk about Daisy. I've been wanting more Daisy cards. She's a little vanilla. An amber 1-cost inkable Daisy Duck lovely lady. She's a 1/3 and quest for 1. So
and there's a poem in the flavor text.
There's a poem, yes. Sweet Daisy, the fairest duck I ever met. Each flaxen lock a rush of flower, flowing gold. Her bill the color of summer sunset. Exquisite plumes, a wonder to behold. Oh. Good job to the narrative team at Lorcana for the flavor text. She's cute.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, Jared, you want to grab one?
Yeah, sure. I will do Hans. So Hans is a noble scoundrel. He's on Sapphire. 3-cost inkable, 3 strength, 2 willpower, 2 lore. His ability says Royal Schemes. And when you play this character, if a princess or queen character is in play, gain 1 lore. So this doesn't have to be one of your characters. Your opponent could have a queen or a princess, and you could gain a lore. So that's kind of neat.
It is.
Sapphire's got its goat.
There you go.
Princesses and queens in the game, right?
So many.
I love that he's in Kristoff's room, and Kristoff has a picture of Anna in his wall there.
Yes. Oh, man. The scoundrel.
And during the stream, they pointed out on the art that the shadow from the window is putting a crosshairs over Anna in the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Hans's card, so he's obviously got a target.
Oh, boy. Hans. Well, let's talk about Anna.
Yes.
All right. So Anna is Braving the Storm is her name, and she's a Sapphire 2-cost inkable 1/4. Quest for 1, and her ability is I was born ready. If you have another hero character in play, this character gets +1 lore.
So I just noticed she's like holding the same hat that Hans is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Kristoff's hat is,
So the Kristoff flavor text is the Hans flavor text. Hans was confident he could bring Anna to Ursula. All he needed was something of Kristoff's to lure her in. And she's holding the hat that he is in his art. And her flavor text is after talking to Olaf, Anna marched into the unexpected storm to save Kristoff. So we've got story happening in the flavor text again.
Are we getting Olaf in this set?
Oh, I think we're getting a new Olaf. Yeah.
Floodborn Olaf.
Floodborn. Yes. I want a Floodborn Olaf.
That'd be amazing.
Okay. This
Floodborn
next
Olaf would
card,
be your Floodborn flounder, right?
That's right. That's right. So
and the art on this is amazing as well. I love the art on this.
Yeah.
So the next card, I shared this on Twitter when I got home because I hadn't seen it, and I said it's Triton's Trident. And I said, not gonna lie, this is a little underwhelming. And Rebecca, you even commented, you're like, same, because the Trident had been built up so much, especially last set. I thought for sure this was going to be a legendary item, but it is merely an uncommon. The art's amazing. I'm not taking anything away from that. And maybe there's still a legendary Triton out there. I don't know. But it's a 2-cost inkable sapphire item. It's a symbol of power. Banish this item. Chosen character gets +1 strength this turn for each card in your hand. I mean, okay. Like, Amethyst draws a lot of cards, so you could really pump something up, but I don't know.
So
I was whelmed.
Yes,
I was whelmed.
It is underwhelming, but I suspect maybe we'll have an item that's like Triton's stolen trident or something like that. That is in Ursula's possession, and will have the power buff or be a bit more powerful than this.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
You know, they had us all set up for like legendary items with that lucky dime, and then. So I think we were all, like you said, Jared, expecting something amazing.
What else could it be? What else could it be? I mean, freaking Martin risked his life to get that trident, but he went for Venturo instead. So,
and it doesn't even stay on the board for like you have to banish it. It's a one-time use.
And Magica, you know, she stole it.
She stole
There's a reason she stole it, but I guess it was just to give somebody a buff, like whatever support, right?
Right.
Pretty much.
Don't know.
Alternate form of support.
I mean, if this was the only letdown today, I think we're doing all right.
We're doing all right. Yes.
It's a cool card. It's great art. I love it. Okay, moving on.
That's it.
That's it. We made it through all the cards.
Okay. So, we're going to do a whiplash moment here. But Rebecca, we cannot pass up this opportunity here to ask this question that we ask all of our guests who are content creators. So, we always like to ask our fellow content creators if they have any advice for fellow or aspiring creators. What advice would you give?
Yeah, so I know everybody always has something good. And you did say on a recent episode, it's okay if we repeat answers.
It's true.
But I was thinking about it, and my motto for myself with content creation, besides things like have fun and, all that kind of stuff, is done is better than perfect, right? I cannot be worried about my content being absolutely perfect. I want it to be high quality. I want it to be good. But at a certain point, you have to just push the button to post. You cannot be spending all of your time in your day. We all have lives, and I have kids and work and everything else. And I, especially being a female person, I know that there can be a lot of, with hair and makeup and how you look in reels and on videos, and you're putting this out in the world and you don't know what people are going to think. And so, which is that's a whole nother topic, but I can't be worried about perfection. I'm not perfect. I'm human, and I'm going to make mistakes. And all of my reels, aren't perfect. None of them are perfect is what I mean to say. All of them are not perfect. And that is perfectly fine with me. And I still love doing what I do. And so done better than perfect. Yeah.
That's what Scott, our guest, he was on last week, right? No.
Yeah, he said something. I think he said something similar.
That's what he said. Perfection is the enemy of good.
That was the line he said. Yeah.
But there comes a point where some people get so obsessed with creating the perfect piece of content and it never gets out there. And I go back to a story I read one time that talks about how it was at school. It was like a pottery class or something. This professor had 2 groups of students. One wanted this one group to make just one piece of pottery, to make it as perfect as they could. And the other group, he wanted them to make as many pieces as they could throughout the day, and each iteration try to improve. And the group that iterated and made as many pieces as they could, they were inevitably better because they had that real world feedback. So that's how it is a lot of times with content. Your first ones are probably not going to be the best, but over time, they're just going to get better and better. I love that piece of advice that you gave.
Yeah. Yep. Just press post, be brave, press the button. And as long as you're happy with it, I think that is also, I would say, like, I don't want to be unhappy with what I post either, but I do not worry about it being perfect.
Well, I think you would agree that the Lorcana community is pretty welcoming.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it'd be one thing if people in the community were like jerks about it, but people are like, they want to see people succeed. That's been my experience.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I have not yet met a content creator who wasn't there cheering on other people. It's been a really great experience interacting with other content creators. So, and hopefully it will always stay that way.
I think what I'm hearing in that comment is that in order for someone to really stand out in Lorcana, they have to be that angry, abrasive. That's going to get them noticed, right?
I mean, you're not wrong.
You'll get noticed.
That niche does need to be filled. You are
no,
correct.
It does not. We're perfectly fine without that.
That niche is available to be filled. You are correct.
Then let's just leave that spot open for all time. We're going to be like, put the job offer out there and never fill it.
Anyway, all right, let's move on to ending segments. James, you have some news for us.
We do? What other news did we have other news?
New news?
We do, actually. So we found out this week that Ravensburger, it was expected, but Ravensburger will be at D23. And what we found out is that with the expanse of D23 from it being D23 Expo to D23, the ultimate Disney fan event, they're going to do stuff like for like a week beforehand, including like Disney Day at Angel Stadium and stuff like that. But at the Anaheim Packing House, which is this really cool old building that used to be a packing house, there's a bunch of restaurants in there and shops, and they're going to hold a Disney event on Tuesday the 6th before D23. And Ravensburger will be there with Villainous and Lorcana to run some learn to play stuff and show people how to play games and do some stuff. We don't have any idea what's actually happening there beyond there's going to be like tastings and you can buy food and you can hang out. It's a free event except for buying the tasting pass. There's no like tickets to buy. It's just to show up and have fun. And we don't know what Ravensburger's going to do there besides have some stuff to show people the games. We don't know if they're going to have promos. We don't know if they're going to have things for sale. I'm guessing it's just going to be they're going to take over an area and show people how to play games and maybe hand out promos because we're pretty sure they're going to bring promos to D23. So they'll probably have some promos to hand out. We just don't know. So more information to come, but that is the first initial information we're getting from D23, which tickets go on sale the 26th for D23 members, the 27th for Visa members, and then the 28th is open to the general public for regular general members.
So I have the Disney Visa credit card. That means on the 27th I could buy?
27th.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You don't have to buy a gold membership to get the early bird tickets. You'll just not get the early bird tickets. That's for gold members.
Okay.
But so if you plan to go to D23, there's a whole new ticketing structure. Make sure you investigate that. You learn about it because there's a lot of different options and some things have changed. If you've been there before, things look different. Just be aware of that. Also, Ravensburger has had a booth on the floor for many years of D23, so we can expect that to happen again. And on Discord today, after all the streaming was done, Rochelle answered a question actually, or a comment, and there will be no challenge event at D23.
Wow.
So one of the challenge events, one of the other 4 events will not be during D23.
All right, I'm not going. Sorry, I'm out.
It doesn't mean there won't be
makes it tough.
Lorcana events. It just won't be a challenge event. Just like they have events at Gen Con and PAX, they'll probably run something. We'll see.
All right. So, shall we do listener questions?
Yes.
Or in this case, listener question. He's our rock. He's asking a question every week. So, if you want to have your opportunity to ask our guest a question, you can join our Discord and throw it in the podcast question channel. So Rebecca, this question comes from Cameron, the Lorcana curator. Said, ask Rebecca how she comes up with all the ink identity videos because all her content is absolutely amazing. And just to give a little context to this, for people who haven't watched you on Instagram, you have these videos where you take on the identity of like different inks, like you're still, like you're big and tough, and then you're sapphire, and like you interact as if each ink has its own identity. So how do you come up with those?
Well, I think I started just because I watched probably too many reels on Instagram. And so there's a lot of these different like skits, and stuff that are really funny. And I like all of a sudden I was like, wait, what if I did this with Lorcana with the inks? And I don't know, I just kind of like roll with like what's going on with the game at the time, like what's in the news, what's people are talking about, and so what's current. And so if I see something that's being talked about a lot, then I'm like, oh, can I turn that into a skit and have the inks, talk about it? Or just like my experience as a player, can I turn that into a skit and talk about it? I don't script them out or anything, except I have like a loose outline in my mind of what they're like, what I want the end result to kind of look like. And then I just like film a bunch of stuff and then edit it all together, which is the part that takes a while. But they are a lot of fun to do. I have a background in theater, so that's a big part of it too. So that's what my degree is, in theater, and I did musical theater all growing up from the time I was like in 3rd grade all the way through as an adult until I had kids, really. And so that theater and improv background comes into play with a lot of the skits and stuff that I do.
That's so cool. I mean, okay, here's the thing. It takes me like 2 minutes to make a meme. I cannot imagine, because you change your whole outfit. So when you're Steel, you're all gray. When you're Ruby, you're all red. And you do your hair so it's distinct for each ink identity. And then, like you said, you have to edit it. So I imagine it takes a little bit longer than my meme making skills. But I mean, everything that you do, like Cameron said, I would echo, is absolutely amazing. So keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could do more of them. I try to do like one a week or every couple weeks because they do take a lot of time to put together. And if I had unlimited time, I would do them all the time. So,
So I thought of an idea for this week's ink. What about emerald? Because we didn't get any emerald reveals.
Oh, that's true. We did.
Emerald is back in the doghouse.
Wow, look at that.
I mean, throwbacks to set 1 here.
Right?
Yeah.
After last set, we were getting like all the emeralds revealed.
All the emeralds.
Now it's like nothing. Like 0. 17 cards and 0
cards and no emeralds. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
Poor emerald.
All right, James, you got her cooking.
Huh.
There you go. What is it time for now?
Disney Jeopardy.
All right.
Okay. Rebecca, when John T was on, he said that you and he kind of have this reputation for being Disney experts. And we are not going to give you the jaunty, treatment here.
I don't get the
one-time thing.
Our questions
the
are
worst people in the world for one segment.
However, that being said, there are some tough ones. Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to dance around that, but let's go for 100.
Oh boy.
This is the male name Mulan chose when she joined the army.
Oh my goodness. I actually don't know.
Oh no.
I haven't seen Mulan in so long.
It's the correct answer. The correct answer is, what is ping?
Ping, that's right. I knew as soon as I heard it, I would know. Oh man.
Okay. We need a ping card in Lorcana. Anyway.
Yeah.
For 200, this is the name of the whale in Pinocchio.
Monstro.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay. For 300, this is how old Crush the Turtle is in Finding Nemo.
Oh. I don't know. I'm just going to guess a number because 148.
Oh, so close.
I'm going to give that to you. If you round it up, it's 150.
Okay.
I'm giving it to you. We're just
I'll take
round
it.
that up. Yeah. That was a good guess. Yes.
I'm like, okay.
Okay. This is a tough one. This should be the
All
500 level one. This is the name of the Pixar ball.
Oh, the Pixar ball has a name?
Apparently.
It's actually the same name as the lamp.
Oh, I was going to ask
Oh.
if it was the same name as the lamp.
But
wow.
not the sun. Because the lamp
Nope.
is the junior.
That is a tough one. Nope, I don't know.
What is the Luxo ball?
Luxo ball. Oh,
Isn't the lamp Luxo Junior? Isn't the short where the lamp is introduced called Luxo Junior?
I don't know.
Yes.
I think.
But I believe you, James. Okay.
We believe you. Luxo.
All right. I have faith that if
Okay.
we use our thinking cap, you're going to get this 500.
Okay.
This is the only title character to never speak in a Disney film.
Only title character to never speak in Dumbo.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. You got it. You got it.
Nice.
You were
Yeah, I got some of those classic ones. I got the Pinocchio and the Dumbo.
I love it. Not too bad. So I think you went 3 for 5 there. So
I did.
That's pretty good.
Wait, okay. So real quick though, tell me, what year did Mulan come out?
Mulan? Was it like 98?
Yeah. Was it still in the 90s? Okay. I guess it probably was. It was Christina Aguilera era.
It
So
was.
yeah, late 90s. 98. Yeah.
How did I know that? I do not know.
I do not know.
That's my 148-year-old guess there.
Those were my like late high school years. So I wasn't watching a lot of Disney, I suppose. I was more interested in boys at that time.
No worries. No worries. You did good. Okay. So Rebecca, it has been a pleasure and a delight to have you on here. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's been great having you who did that live stream and was able to break all this news down to help us digest everything that we learned today. But again, if people want to find you online, where can they find you? Yes. So I'm mostly over on Instagram. It's lorcana.illuminary. And like we've talked about, we have a lot of fun reels and stories. I do a lot of polls and stuff in my stories too. So share a lot of art and everything. It's a great community there on Instagram. So I hope you'll join me. And then I float over to Twitter every once in a while. And there I'm at the Illuminary. Awesome. And if you enjoyed today's content, you enjoyed learning about all the news that broke today, you can follow us on YouTube. You can subscribe to the podcasting platform of your choice. You can find me on the website formerly known as Twitter at Citizens of Lorcana. You can also find me on Instagram at Citizens of Lorcana. Okay. We also have our Discord, again, by the same name. And James, where can they find you? You can find me everywhere online at Dan Regal. And Rebecca, actually, the live reaction you guys did, is that still available to watch going forward? So if you go over to my profile on Instagram, it is on there shared as a reel. So all the 2-hour news segment is what's there. That's going to make 2-hour good real driving listening, I think, for the next couple of days. There you go. All right. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.